Hi kids, it's me, your friendly guide. Today, we're going to learn about how Earth was made. Have you ever wondered how our planet Earth was made? It's a fascinating story that goes back billions of years. It's a super exciting story that starts a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Imagine a place in space with lots of dust and rocks floating around. Can you picture that? It's like a giant cosmic playground. This dust and these rocks were like puzzle pieces, waiting to come together. Slowly, they started bumping into each other. Bump. Can you imagine the sound they made? Every time they bumped, they stuck together, like magnets. Isn't that cool? More bumps, more sticking, and guess what? They kept growing bigger and bigger. They started to make a big spinning ball of dust and rocks. This ball was getting huge. That big ball would one day become our Earth. Isn't it amazing how something so small can turn into something so big and wonderful? This big ball, our Earth, was still growing. It was like a baby in the universe, getting bigger and bigger every day. It kept spinning in space, and more space rocks crashed into it. Boom, crash! These space rocks were like cosmic visitors, each one adding a little more to our planet. These crashes were like giant fireworks, making the Earth even hotter and brighter. Imagine a never-ending fireworks show, but in space. Can you believe it? Our Earth was once a giant ball of hot, melted rock. It was like a glowing, fiery marble floating in the vastness of space. It was so hot that you couldn't even stand near it. The heat was so intense, it would have melted anything that came close. But don't worry, it cooled down eventually. The fiery surface began to settle, and the intense heat started to fade away. Over a very, very long time, the Earth started to cool down from all those fiery crashes. It was a slow process, but eventually, our planet became the cooler, more stable place we know today. As the Earth cooled, something amazing happened. The hot, melted rock on the surface started to harden. It became solid ground, just like the ground we walk on today. But that's not all. The Earth was still bubbling and hissing with heat, and some parts of it were covered in volcanoes. Wow! Can you imagine how cool that must have looked? Section 4. Oceans of Fun. Now get ready for this. As the Earth cooled down even more, something magical happened. Rain. But not just a little drizzle, kids. It rained for a very, very long time. All that rain started to fill up the big empty spaces on Earth's surface. And guess what that made? You got it. Oceans. Can you believe that our big blue oceans were once just giant puddles from all that rain? Section 5. Life in the water. Now, our Earth was a watery world with land and oceans. The vast blue oceans covered most of the planet, creating a unique environment. It was the perfect setting for something truly amazing to happen. Life. The sunlight danced on the water's surface, creating a magical effect that seemed to breathe life into the depths below. Tiny little creatures, so small you couldn't even see them, started to appear in the water. These microscopic beings were the pioneers of life, beginning an incredible journey. These tiny creatures were the very first forms of life on Earth. They multiplied and thrived in the nutrient-rich waters, setting the stage for more complex life forms. They were like the great-great-great-great, and many more greats, grandparents of all living things today. Over millions of years, these simple organisms evolved into more complex beings. From the fish in the sea to the birds in the sky, the diversity of life we see today all started from these humble beginnings in the water. And even you and me, every living creature on Earth, including humans, can trace their origins back to these first life forms in the ancient oceans. Section 6. Our amazing Earth. From a big cloud of dust to a fiery ball of rock, and finally to the beautiful planet we call home, Earth has been on an incredible journey. And guess what? It's still changing today. So next time you look at the ground, the ocean, or even just a tiny little bug, remember the amazing story of how Earth was made. It's a planet full of surprises, and there's so much more to learn and explore.